Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Panic Mode, and welcome to a brand new tutorial video where today we're going to be looking at how to make a dubstep bass just like Wooli, or inspired by Wooli, if you want to call it that. Here's the bass that we're going to be making, and I hope you guys enjoy it. The first thing you're going to notice is that this bass is very trebly. It's got a lot of high-end frequencies and a lot of annoying frequencies, if you probably noticed. If you want to work on this, I recommend you spend some time trying to find these really harsh frequencies and just clean the sound up as best as you possibly can. I think that will really help the sound making process. And it will help you. It'll help the sound sit better in the mixes. In your mixes, if you do a good job doing the EQ work. Sorry, one second. I just want to make sure this is at a healthy sample rate so my computer doesn't crap out while I'm doing this. So I'm just going to disable everything, and I'm going to show you guys where the bass started from. So I'll just disable all the effects, disable the filter, and oscillator B. So this is the sound on its own. As you can see, we use a wavetable called Body Shell, which is a wavetable found inside of Jaws wavetables by Cymatics. And just so you guys know, Wooli loves to use this wavetable. I was recently watching his live streams that he did on upsound.com before Upsound shut down. But from the tutorials I saw, he admitted he loved to use the Body Shell wavetable. I don't know what's so amazing about it. I mean, it is a good wavetable, I can give you that. But it's not like you have to use this wavetable if you want to get the authentic Wooli sound. Honestly, just look around. If you don't have this wavetable, if you don't have this pack, don't hesitate. I mean, don't worry. I'm sure you can find other good wavetables that are similar to this that give you this kind of like tone. Let me just disable the sub because I think that's kind of interfering with the. Yeah. So basically, we got LFO1 with this shape here, and it's modulating the level, the FM from B, and the wavetable position. And yeah, it's not too much else on the oscillator A. On oscillator B, though, that's where most of the treble comes from. We got sync, and we got FM from B. And obviously, this saw wave is being boosted up an octave. Just as a little tip, I think it's better if you FM with this this basic shapes wavetable rather than the this one. Because as you can see, that sounds really weird. The basic shapes saw wave I feel is a lot better for FMing. So after that, we got high notch, the high pass plus notch filter. And that's where most of the valleyiness comes from. As you can see, we got it on the cutoff bipolar direction. Nothing too crazy. Pretty easy to pull off. So now let's get into the effects we got in here. I'm going to start with the distortion. Obviously, it's just tube distortion. Literally, this is like you turn on the distortion plugin and this is what you get. So don't worry about changing anything in here. It's really just to add a bit of honestly, it's just a bit of compression, but it gives it makes it a bit more like I'm trying to think of the word. There's a word I'm trying to think of here, but whatever, it doesn't matter. One thing Wooli is very known for is using flange filters, or just like flanges filters, like comms, flange filters. Basically, all of these filters you can make pretty cool sounds with. And as you can see, this is basically where the whole character of the sound comes from. If you just disabled it and it sounds fine, but this is where the character of the sound comes in. And go ahead and experiment, see which one of these actually sounds the coolest. Honestly, you can get some cool results if you like just and also like changing the cutoffs like very slightly can change the character of the sound as well. One thing I just want to show you guys here is that to get a good stereo width, I actually use the pan knob on the filter, which most people forget about when they're making basses in Serum, but basically, if you're wearing headphones, you'll be able to hear this, or speaker, if you're listening to this on speakers. But as you pan it out, it starts to sound a lot more stereo oriented. Honestly, it's a bit close to going out of phase on the stereo spectrum, but it's good just to find like that sweet spot. As you can see, if you put it all the way, it sounds really weird, wonky, which can be cool if you have some sort of idea. Other than that, on the actual patch itself, you got this filter that just adds a bit more vowelliness. Pretty simple. And the last thing we have on here is this master tuning, like this pitch modulation. One thing that Wooli says he loves to do is that he doesn't spend a whole lot of time on actually making the patches. What he actually does is the most time he spends inside of Serum making a patch is with the master tuning, and really you can create some really wonky sounds if you just take one LFO, put it to the master tuning, and put it on bipolar directional, make some like crazy shapes, and then just play with this knob here or with this slider. Obviously, like that sounds cool. That sounds cool. That sounds cool. It's all about experimentation, honestly, in my opinion. Just if you want to make a really cool sound, spend some time trying to find cool like shapes, and it will really add like an impact to a drop, if you know what I mean. So now let's go into the post-processing. There's not a whole lot because you guys should know this. I've actually stopped using the meat rack that I've been previously known for. I actually don't use meat rack anymore because it was really affecting my mixes in a bad way. So I'm not using the meat rack anymore, or at least as much as I used to. There's still some ways I can use it, but whatever. Let's just go into the post-processing. First thing we got is a phaser. Kind of subtle, but it just gives it some more, vowelliness. Now, for probably the most signature part of Wooli is this preset called Yo Man. And Yo Man is a chorus preset that you can find in Ableton. You literally just go to chorus, and it's like literally right here. It's called Yo Man. And I'll show you what it means. I'll show you what it does. So, I'm just going to disable, I don't know if I can disable the modulation. Yeah, I'll just disable the modulation, and I'll turn on the plugin. That sounds pretty cool. The problem with it, though, is that it sounds really bad on the stereo spectrum. So what Wooli loves to do is he loves just to modulate the dry wet. And it just kind of gives it this nice, like, feedback, metallic-y kind of feedback. And you can go really crazy with this. I actually like it just like that. It's not a lot less subtle, and you can mess around with the feedback. Sometimes a higher feedback is better. Really just depends on what you're kind of going for. So the rest of the stuff is just kind of other post-processing shenanigans. We got a sausage fattener. Obviously just beefing up the sound. And then we have the saturation knob. This is a free plugin, actually, just so you know. Softube saturation knob. I think I learned this from Virtual Riot. This should actually go down a bit because it's not too harsh. But basically, this is like this is a really good preset for just like really fat saturation. And it's got these three different saturation types. You got keep high, which keeps the high end of the sound, and keep low, which keeps the low end of the sound. It doesn't really matter because I don't have a sub bass attached to it. Honestly, I could keep it at neutral. But again, this is a free plugin. Look it up. You do have to install a shit ton of stuff, but it's worth it if you want some good saturation plugins. Then we got an OTT without the high end. I learned this. This is like a little trick I learned from Company. who's another dubstep producer. But basically, it doesn't have a lot of high end. It doesn't have as much high end, and that's kind of good in some ways because dubstep basses aren't meant to be super duper trebly. Of course, I'm not a huge fan of it, so this is kind of good because it still gives it that OTT vibe, but it doesn't like have the over compressed high end. So we got the EQ. Obviously taking away the bad frequencies that we hate. And then we got a glue compressor. Just bringing up all the volume. Last but not least, we have this reverb preset called, it's called Valhalla for Throw because I'm using Valhalla reverb. But you don't need to use it if you don't want to. You can use a standard reverb and just kind of like emulate these settings. If you want to check them out, you can kind of emulate. You can probably emulate this stuff with the standard reverb plugin. But basically, what this is it's actually I should explain this. This is actually a washout filter. I took a washout preset called Bass Kelf's Easy Washout. This is another thing that Wooli showed on one of his live streams. Basically, this is I'm pretty sure this is a stock preset inside of Ableton. But basically, what I did is he gets rid of the drain delay, the filter delay, and he takes the stereo back on the reverb, and then you can just modulate the washout knob, and that creates that nice like. And I'll show you and I'll show you like exactly what it does. So what we have is you modulate the washout, and then it creates that like opening effect when the next note plays. And it's literally no different if you use it with the stock stuff. I'll just disable this and show you what I mean. Oops. Come on. I think the filter's a bit different. I'm not too sure. Sounds a bit different, but it's not too far off. You could still probably achieve a good sound with this little thing I showed you here. So other than that, yeah, that's how you make a bass like Wooli. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure you leave a like, and if you do like my content, please subscribe. I just got to 200 subscribers, and that's amazing. I love knowing that people like my content. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded in a while. I've just been killing like school has been killing me, but the semester's almost done, and I'm gonna have some more time to make videos soon. So other than that, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have learned something. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.